Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host AMF1534 here. Welcome back to Let's Play some more Rush 2 Extreme Racing USA. And there's just a little over 2 hours before the next episode of Better Call Saul comes flying onto my TV. So I've got one more video to make after this one, so we've got our work cut out for us this evening. So with that said, let's jump into business. We're doing the next installment of New York Uptown. We've already done it once. And so why not do it again? I'll actually be really happy if we can get a lot of these knocked out up front, because these races get brutal as hell if we have to play them later on in the game. I would much rather deal with New York downtown and Los Angeles late in the game if it means I can avoid doing this one late in the game, because this one, it just really sucks, man. But yeah, man, I'm super excited for Better Call Saul. I checked out the premiere of it last night. Over at Matt's house. Dude, it was awesome. I'm not going to ruin it for anybody that hasn't seen it yet, but you're not going to be disappointed. If you liked Breaking Bad, you're already going to fall in love with this. I think they did a really solid job, and it really helps that they probably had a much larger budget to work with. And just the way that they started telling the story was actually really cool. So I'm excited to see how they start off with the second episode, because it's already getting pretty wild, you know. I would have filmed last night, but there was actually a crazy storm that happened last night. It was weird. So we ended up having thunder and lightning up here in Oregon, and we ended up losing power in certain areas of Salem. And it was weird because when the storm started when I was out at Matt's house, and the way that his house is, he lives out kind of in the middle of nowhere, and out in the woods, and it's at a slightly higher elevation than the rest of everywhere else, I suppose. Oh, that guy's driving one of those things? God, I hate that car. I really do. I mean, for all I know, that guy is just like the ultimate thug. You know, drinking 8 glasses of Thuggeroni every morning, I don't know. But that car sucks so much ass. It's just unbelievable. The fact that he's in first place right now is just not even tight. But I got to his house a little bit early after work yesterday, and he comes up to the place and he's like, dude, did you see all the sheet lightning that was going on out there? And I was like, no. And so we go outside, and like from his house, because it's so high up, you can see pretty much probably a solid like 30 or 40 miles down the freeway. And so you can see like 3 different sets of city lights down there from like Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene. And so we saw just like this one area. It was kind of like between Corvallis and Eugene, where it was just totally like totally black over in that area. And every minute or so we could see just this big flash of like sheet lightning, and then maybe like 15 or 20 seconds would go by, and then you'd hear just like this of the thunder and whatnot. And so we're like, dude, this is tight. And like ever so often it would start to get a little bit closer, and so we decided to go inside. We're like, well, you know, whatever. Okay, so that's tight. We're gonna go inside now. We go inside, and I forgot that I left something in my car, so I go back out to my car, and then I had to take a piss. So I walk outside and I'm taking a piss, and then all of a sudden I feel just like this burst of wind like right in my face and my crotch. While I'm just unloading the old Zool there, and then all of a sudden just the wind picked up, and then all of a sudden the lightning and the thunder was just right there on top of us. And so I got done with that, and I went and got my stuff out of my car, and by the time I walked back into his house, it just was like this. We were in like the eye of the storm already. Like that storm was just moving like 100 miles an hour, just whoop. And within no time, it had already been there and gone. Like it was like this little miniature travel-size incredible storm. And it ended up going into Salem, where my house is at, and it ended up taking out the power for a little while. So by the time I got home, I didn't have any power that I could film with. So that was quite the bummer. But what do you do? Okay, here, oh boy. Oh god. The worst part about this, I think that both of the times that we've done this race so far has been on regular orientation, if I'm not mistaken. And those, unfortunately, are the easier ways to do it. So when we have to do the the backward versions of this track later on. Oh, it's gonna suck so much of Donkey Kong's wiener. It's just we're gonna be smoking so much pole. It's not even gonna be fair. And I don't mean that in a good, like, oh yay, we're gonna be just blowing the wonk. I don't even know what that means, but we're saying it today. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I really want to do. I mean, there's 2 tracks that I can think of off the top of my head that we have not seen yet, and I know that New York Downtown is one of them, and I know that Las Vegas is another one of them. But I could swear that there's another one that we haven't seen yet, and I just can't think of it. I just can't think of it. It'll come up eventually, though. Ooh, boy, that was that was close. Yeah, I really can't think of what it is. For the life of me. Whoa. Oh no. Oh god. So, I got something that I want to talk about, and it's just it's something that it kind of bothers me a little bit. This is something that if you work in retail, you know exactly what I'm talking about. At least for those of you that are in charge of ordering things. So, there's this one company, and you guys know that I work at a vitamin store. So there's this one company whose vitamins I have to do like manual phone call orders for. Like most of these things, you can just do digital orders, and you know it's fine. They don't care. But there's this one company that whenever you do orders, like you have to, if you want to get the actual like good discounts, you have to physically call them in. Like you can't fax them in. You can't order them you know, via the internet, like through like internet distributors and whatnot. You gotta call those fuckers in. And so I call these in, and their name is Now Foods, and bless their souls, they have wonderful products, but there is nothing that I hate more on this planet than calling in orders with those guys. they are the worst. There are 2 different people that I have talked to in there, and they just, I swear on my life, they're 2 different people, probably with different parents that have totally different characteristic traits, but I swear by some really weird transitive property, they are somehow indirectly related to Ben Stein, because they are 2 of the most monotone human beings on the face of the earth. And like, I get it, you know, you're working for a company, and oh my god, ouch. You're working for a company, and like your sole job is to be working in the department where you got to take orders. That it's not like, hey, I want 2 of these and I want 4 of these and whatever. The way you got to call those in, I think, is probably the more insufferable part of it. You got to call them in. You're like, okay, I want item number 0045, and I want for 5 or for 6 of those, and then they read it back to you. And then you go on to the next one, and so on and so forth. You keep doing that. And so, like, I get it. There's going to be points where you're not going to be super enthused about working your job that day. But these guys, I mean, for God's sakes, like, there are people that I've talked to there before that they at least show, like, a little bit of excitement for their job, but not these 2 particular people. And I feel bad for them, because I understand, like, how boring that's got to be to do that day in and day out, 5 days a week, for, you know, 9 or 10 hours at a time. But my god, these ones, they're just awful. So I call in today, and oh, the lady that I got, she was just the worst. She's like, "Thank you for calling Now Foods. This is Kim. How can I direct your call today?" And I'm like, oh god, here we go. It's like, well, hi, my name's Adam Foster with Salem Health Foods in Salem, Oregon. I'd like to place an order with you guys. Can I please get your customer number? By the way, we got 3rd place. That was awful. Oh god, we're still in 1st place. Oh my god, Cecil, you dirty bastard, you. God, we're in Seattle again? I mean, at least we're gonna knock him out all early or something, but she's like, can I have your customer number, please? And so I gave it to her. She's like, okay, well, you can begin reading off at any time now. And I'm just like, oh my god. I mean, it's already starting off this bad. And so I start reading, and just the way that she reads them back, there's just like no excitement in there at all. Okay, so you want vitamin D 5120? Next item, please. Acetyl-L-carnitine 400 milligram, 120 capsule. Next item, please. That's That's the ginkgo biloba, 120 milligram. That item is currently out of stock. Would you like me to postpone it for another order? Okay, thank you. Next item, please. Could you please hold on just a moment? I have to save the form, otherwise we'll lose the order. I'm going to put you on hold. Is that okay? I'm just like, ah! Like, at 3 different points during that, like, it was so boring. Like, it was so boring during the course of that call that I started yawning. And she's like, "Is everything okay, sir? Is there are you extra tired today? Because you're yawning." And like that was like the extent of her like enthusiasm. She's like, I mean, it's your Monday must be going pretty hard if you're yawning this early. And keep in mind, it's like 4 o'clock there in the PM because I called this in at like 1 PM over there at you know my time. So it's like 4 o'clock in Chicago because that's where these guys were at. And that was like the extent of her enthusiasm. Oh, you must be pretty tired. You're yawning and it's already 1 o'clock. You had a pretty long weekend, didn't you? And so like we keep going and I'm like halfway through this thing. And I swear on my life, I'm starting to fall asleep. Like my eyes start getting heavy. And at one point I had to like put her on hold in the middle of the order. I was like, hey, could you hold on just a second? She's like, oh, okay. And I had to like turn away and do a full-on yawn, and I had to get up and take a drink of water because I was so tired from like just the general lack of any sort of like, hey, I'm a human being and I'm alive and I'm not like a sales robot. That, oh, it was so awful. And like the last time that I called in, I got this guy and his name was Scott. And he sounded like he was on just like, on like 4 handfuls of antidepressants. Hello, this is Scott with Now Foods. Could I please get your customer number? Okay. Okay, this is your delivery address. Okay, just wanted to verify that. You could start giving me item numbers whenever you are ready. Okay. Oh, so that's the vitamin C 1000 milligram 100 tablet. Would you like to hear our promotional sale about those that are going on until the end of the week? No, thank you, Scott. Okay, you may now proceed with your next product. Okay, that's going to be the coenzyme Q10. Would you like to get the 50 soft gel one or the 100 size soft gel? I'll just stick with the 100. Okay. Would you please hold for just a moment? I need to save the form, otherwise we'll lose the order. It's like they have like all these things that they're saying on like a prompt or something. It's just, oh, and like just they sound like they're just ready at any given moment to go like take off their headset when the phone call is up and just go like, you know, take like a few sticks of M80s out of their locker or something, and then just go like blow up the building and then walk out. Just, I'm so glad this is over. The nightmare has finally concluded. So it was just awful. Like the last 5 times that I have called in orders to those guys, I've started falling asleep every time. And like that's the only company that I have to deal with that with. Like there are plenty other sales reps that we talk to, and they're just regular human beings, and like they enjoy their job, and like they're really excited when they call you. Like there's this guy, whenever he calls in, it sounds like he had just been on like a load of amphetamines or something. Like he's just like totally super chipper and full of energy. Hey, is this Adam? Yes, it is. Hey, Adam, this is Jason from Irwin Naturals. How's it going, man? Everything been treating you good lately? Well, yeah. Me too, you know. I've been out super busy all the time, but you know what? Just happy to have a job. I totally agree. There are a lot of people that don't have jobs these days, but like, why can't everybody be like that? Like, there are some people that might get, that might be turned away by the fact that a guy is like, abnormally super energetic about his job. But I mean, I feel like it'd be more off-putting to get the person that seems like quite obviously really not into their line of work. Like, all right, hold on just a minute. Let me get this for you. Oh. pieces of like cerebellum all over the screen and their microphone now. Alright, please tell me. Yes, finally. Alright. At least we got another little miniature buffer there. It's just, it's so hard to be able to like put up with those people because they're such a downer, you know? I just want people to be able to make me excited to call and talk to them, but my god, that's just how it is, man. So for all you guys that work in retail that don't have to do orders, you better hope to god that if you get promotions, the people you talk to don't end up being like those guys, because they are just insufferably bad. They really are. So we have run out of time for this episode, and that rant was, you know, it was whatever. I apologize if you guys did not find that intriguing at all, but it's something that I had to get it off of my head today because it's just been bothering me all day. So there we have it. So when we come back on the next installment of Let's Play Rush to Extreme Racing USA, we've got Hawaii again. We're doing it in mirrored. We're going in the mirror. We are doing it in the mirror, which is always a good way to do it, by the way. I mean, for those of you that are into that kind of thing. So when we come back, we're going to do that one. But until then, my friends, this is AMF 1534 saying thank you guys for watching. Rant completed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.